We are back yet again. I was working on videos. I have a video up right now that I've not released yet, but it's still processing by YouTube. The pains of using 4K content on YouTube is annoying as hell. But I don't know how long I'm going to stream. I got another video I want to work on before I go to sleep, and I want to try to go to sleep relatively early. I basically didn't sleep at all last night. And I got one video up, who should be cut after UFC Vegas 73. That's still processing. I released another video earlier today that I did last night at 4 a.m. after I got off the last stream that I did. Dana White teases massive UFC 293 announcement, which thank you guys for watching. That's almost to 6,000 views now. So that's great for the channel. Picking up some subs, picking up crazy watch time. Appreciate you guys for watching that. But I did that last night, so I released that today. I wanted to release at least 2 videos today, hopefully 3. It's going to be 2. And I'll release the cuts video either during the stream or after the stream or right before I end the stream, something along those lines. And it's just, we'll see what happens. But I'm going to do my Francis Ngannou video. My Francis Ngannou video, for those who do not know, I'm breaking down what Dana White said at the post-fight presser, because a lot of contextual issues, a lot of misleading, a lot of trying to drive the narrative in a certain direction, a lot of attacking people's appearances for things that they say, and there's a lot to cover. I got 6 minutes of Dana White clips to react to, so I chopped it up into like 30 to 40 seconds. It's about 9 clips that I'm going to go through. I'm going to play it, then react to it. I was going to put me in the corner and then react to the clip. I'm not a big fan of that. So I'd rather me talk, play the clip, me talk, play the clip, me talk, play the clip. So that's what it's going to be. That is what it's going to be. And that'll be out tomorrow. And the other video will be out at some point in the next hour if YouTube actually works. If it doesn't process it, then both of them are coming tomorrow. It still hasn't started processing yet. YouTube is an absolute clown show for processing videos, especially 4K content. Anyway, what's up, Fries? What's up, JJ Smoke? What's up, Into Thin Air? What's up, Andy? Sunday Night Joey Pleasure. You had to get a quickie in. What's up, Billy L? You picking Izzy over Hill? I don't know who I'm picking. But I'm the only person. If that happens, I need full credit. I need full credit for the calling of that one. I want full credit for that one. First person to break that news. So, would I pick Izzy over Hill? I don't know that I would. Hill's so big, but it'd be a striking battle, and Izzy's a better striker. But does Izzy get clipped by Jamal? Gun to my head, I pick Izzy right now, but don't expect that for the final prediction. What's up, Vince? What's up, Blaze1? Izzy versus Hamza in the works confirmed? No, it's not confirmed. But that may be the fight as well. That's the fight I was leaning to until last night. Until last night, I decided to change my overall thoughts. So, that is not in the works. That's fake. But might be. It might be, though, based on speculation. Sup, Joey? What's up? Will Adams, I hope you're doing well. Does Connor look different to you now? Connor been changing for the last year. Dude's on crystal meth, PEDs, crack, cocaine, everything under the sun. Hard to keep my Sabbath holy with this so much pleasure on a Sunday night. Stop it. Stop it, bro. Just pleasuring grown men on a Sunday night. That's crazy. You the man. Thank you, MMA Prodigy. Appreciate it. Who do you have in the Renat versus Kevin Lee? Renat by destruction. Who do you... Okay, read that. Did the human growth hormone make Connor's head bigger? Yes, I think his head's larger. And that really does happen, from what I understand. But I'm not an expert on that one. I'm taking Kai Kara France by TKO 4th round. I'm leaning Kai Kara France as well, but I don't know what will the pick be. Ain't you pick Crute over Hill? I did, but that was a long time ago. And I learned from my mistakes. All right? Joey shouldn't be allowed to stream on Sundays. It's Lord's Day. Well, then don't watch. Who's the next to pull the court, McGee? I don't know. It's going to happen sooner or later. Sooner or later. Play dead. Dude was playing dead. That's the new term for that. Dude played dead. Because that's essentially what they're doing. Ikram versus Costa. Who you got? I'll take Costa. Happy Francis is making money, but watching him fight unknown heavyweights in PFL for pay-per-view just doesn't interest me at all. I mean, that's fair enough. You don't need to watch it. Maybe it'll be interesting. Maybe it won't. We don't know. We don't know who the opponent is yet. But we'll find out. And maybe with that $2 million, maybe someone's going to try to get out of their UFC contract. We'll see what's going on. But at the end of the day, in the UFC, and I know I sound like I'm delegitimizing Francis in the UFC, there's two compelling fights for Francis in the UFC, and that's Jon Jones and that is Sergey Pavlovich. That's it. There's not some crazy depth in the UFC heavyweight division. So we'll see what they come up with, and then we can make our determinations from there whether or not we want to watch it. But there's no doubt in my mind it will bring more eyeballs to PFL. Amir will beat Kai. We'll see. Joey, really liked your video on UFC 293 prediction. I think you're spot on. Either Khamzat or Jamahal. Which one would you rather see? If it was up to me, I love both. I'd rather see the Khamzat fight. And I know Khamzat doesn't deserve it. And I know someone would say, you're hypocritical. You want Khamzat to get an undeserved title shot, but you're complaining that Colby's getting an undeserved title shot? There's one massive difference, okay? Before I even tell you guys, okay? If I say I want Khamzat to get an undeserved middleweight title shot, and I say I don't like that Colby Covington's getting an undeserved title shot, what is the major difference between those two scenarios? Let me know in the chat if you guys are smart enough to easily decipher what is the difference. What is the one main difference between those two scenarios? Cannonier versus Costa after a Vittori fight? I'd like that. I'd like that. You think Manyfield would be the favorite in the rematch with Karut? I don't know. Probably. I think both of them need to retire. Yo, what up? Had to pause watching your latest Dana vid. There's more coming soon. Luscious V emoji? Maybe. If Francis KOs whoever PFL, he's right back up. It'll be interesting to see who he fights. At the end of the day, dude's a freak of nature and one of the most exciting heavyweights, if not the most exciting heavyweight of all time. So it looks like nobody can guess the major difference between Khamzat getting a title shot and Colby getting a title shot. Because there's one massive difference, in my opinion, that changes the whole outlook on the scenario. No, it's not Colby's been around the top. It's not one that's already fought for the belt. One of them getting a title shot doesn't stop a deserving contender from getting a title shot. There's no clear-cut deserving contender at middleweight. So I don't care who gets a title shot. Give it to Marvin Vettori for all I care. I don't want to see it, but give it to Marvin Vettori. There's not a compelling argument to make for any contender in middleweight deserving a title shot. There's multiple people at welterweight who deserve a title shot. So, Colby's an interim champ in a pay-per-view draw. Yeah, dude. And I'm 6'5" with my New Balances on. Honestly, I'd like to see Izzy versus Yuri. That might be my number one fight I would make right now. I think that was on my list of top fights for the UFC to make in 2023. Colby's been around the top forever. Colby actually has a top 5 win in his division. Does he? He hasn't beat anyone who's currently in the top 15 of the rankings. So, Khamzat has a better claim to a title shot at welterweight than Colby does, for sure. But Colby got that interim belt back in 1974. Colby's got that interim belt back in 1974. So he must deserve it. That's for sure. So we'll see what happens, though. Thank you for telling me, Billy. That was annoying. Colby's established. Established what? I fixed it, Billy. Thank you. I saw your message and just fixed it. Anthony Smith moved down to middleweight, debut against Strickland. I don't think Anthony Smith can make middleweight. Anthony Smith's a big guy. This YouTube video still has not processed yet. I hate YouTube. I hate YouTube sometimes. But yeah, I mean, think about it. If Hamzat gets a title shot, is there any deserving contender getting skipped over? No, there's not. Where if Colby gets a title shot, he's skipping over Bilal, he's skipping over Shavkat. You know, at least those two. I think it's really just those two. Let me go take a look. But there's other guys you could make the claim for, but I'm saying clear-cut claim. Yeah, I mean, you could make a claim for half the division deserving a title shot more than Colby. Anthony would be the next Court McGee if he fights again. Dude looks like Tony Ferguson out there. Yes. You know who's more deserving? Andre Petrosky, who's actually beats Izzy, to be fair. All right. My 8-minute video took over an hour to process today. It's so annoying. PFL needs to try to get Brock Lesnar to forfeit his WWE contract to fight Francis. It's the only opponent currently outside the UFC that would draw UFC level numbers. Dude, if Francis fights Brock Lesnar, I'm not watching that. I'm not watching it. But it would draw in good numbers. I'd probably have to watch it, to be honest. Just because. But it would piss me off. Even though it would be good for Francis, it would piss me off. Freak show fight. I'd rather them find a legit opponent. But that would be crazy. Could you imagine what a slap in the face to the UFC that would be? If Kevin Holland beats Chiesa, will you respect him? Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, but Anthony Smith, next looking. Hey, Joey, I'm 6'5" with my Project Rock shoes on, and Colby Covington will give Izzy trouble at 185. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's a given, dude. That's a given. Bo Nickel versus Anthony Hernandez. Who would you pick? I'd take Anthony Hernandez. It'd be fun, though. Covington versus Dariush. Who wins? At what weight class? At what weight class? Hey, Joey, how was your day, dude? My day was good. I was tired as hell all day, but my day was good. Didn't do anything crazy, but I literally didn't sleep last night, basically. You know. But I took a nap today, so I'm all right. Lesnar and Ngannou's whose steroids are better? Maybe. Feeling it yet, Mr. Krabs? All right. Anthony Hernandez killed Edmund Shabazian last night. Yes, he did. I hope to God PFL doesn't really get Wardum to fight Francis. That may end up happening. And that's at least mildly compelling. I mean, in my opinion, that's mildly compelling. I don't love it. I don't love any of the matchups. I want Francis in the UFC just as much as the next guy. But it is what it is. There's two compelling fights for Francis in the UFC. If he was still alive, you know we'd be getting Kimbo versus Francis probably. You're 6'2" with your Heelys on. Does Islam outstrike Dariush to a dub? That's what I'm wondering. Why were they advertising Brock to return to the UFC last week? I didn't see that. What are you talking about? Colby actually matches up better against Hernandez than... Was that a nickname for someone? I don't know. Joe, what is your favorite food to eat while you're watching a pay-per-view, just chopping it up with the boys? I'm a pizza guy. All right, so look. This is an easy question to answer and a hard question to answer. So, when I watch a pay-per-view, now I'm sitting in front of this damn camera and watching it here. So, obviously, I'm not eating anything while I'm sitting here. That'd be weird. But also, when I watch it downstairs, I don't like to eat in my living room. I'm not like one of those people that, oh, you can't eat in the living room, but I don't like eating in my living room. I like to eat at my dining room table. I got like a 9-foot dining room table. And I just like to sit at my dining room table. It's more enjoyable than sitting in my living room, like eating on my ottoman or whatever. I don't really like eating in my living room. I don't almost ever eat in my living room. So what I would usually do is I would either order like delivery or something, or maybe go pick up Chick-fil-A in between a fight or miss a prelim and go grab some Chick-fil-A. And then I sit down at my dining room table, don't watch any fights, and I eat Chick-fil-A. Now, if there's a fight, if it just happens to line up where I'm going to get food or something and there's a compelling fight, I'll watch it in the car. And then when I come back, I'll set it up with no audio at the dining room table and watch it on my phone or an iPad. So, there you go. But when I'm not chopping it up with the boys. I'm not chopping it up with the boys. Definitely not Clay Guida and the boys. What's up? Keep out. Thoughts on Conor going to the Asada pool immediately? I'll believe it when I see it. I'll believe it when I see it. Who sits at the dining room tables nowadays? All about TV trays in front of TVs? Not me. I sit at the dining room table. I got like the sweetest dining room table I'd like to sit at. Let me see if I can find a picture real quick. I know I got a picture of my dining room table from when I first moved in. If I got it on this phone is the real question. Do I have it on this phone? Let me take a look. Let me take a look. I got a sweet dining room table. I think I showed you. I don't know. Have I showed you guys before? I feel like I've talked about this before, but I don't remember. It would be somewhere around here. Would be somewhere. Where the... I don't know. I don't know if I have one here. Maybe. I feel like I do, but I don't. I have so many pictures nowadays. Oh, here we go. Let me make sure there's nothing. Look, this is my dining room table. I think it's like 9 foot or 10 foot. Let's see if it focuses. Boom. Boom. So I just prefer to just sit there. I just enjoy sitting there, minding my own business, not getting crumbs everywhere or dropping food anywhere. So, yeah. I don't ever eat and watch the fights technically. Thoughts on Conor going to USADA pool immediately? I'll believe it when I see it. Usman versus Hamzat prediction. Also, Hamzat is the best fighter at welterweight. Usman Hamzat, I'm going Hamzat by TKO. If Oliveira beats Dariush, do you think he deserves the Islam rematch? No. But you can make the case. But no, I think the winner of Poirier-Gaethje will get the title shot done. How tall are you? I'm 6'3", 6'5" with my white New Balances on. They did some article about Brock coming back to UFC. I never saw that. I don't think it will be. What's your Chick-fil-A order? Spicy chicken sandwich, pepper jack cheese, sweet tea. How does one move a 12-foot dining room table in your house? I got it delivered, so I don't know. A couple guys walking it in. It's heavy as hell, too. It must weigh 200 pounds. It's not a marble top. No, they had like a version of that had a marble top, but I didn't want that one. But it's sweet. It's sweet. I always wanted a big dining room table. So when I bought my house, years ago, I said, you know what? I'm getting the best dining room table money can buy. And I found that one. Do you watch on your phone while you eat at the table, though? If I'm missing a fight that's compelling, yes. Yes. But I have to set that up because I don't touch my phone and eat either. So I set up my phone, or my fiance sets up my phone, or her iPad. She has an iPad that she has down there usually. And I'll wash my hands. I'll set it up, wash my hands, and I have the audio off. And I'll just watch the fights while I'm eating. If it's something compelling. If it's a shit fight I don't care about, I just won't watch it. I'll just skip it. And if it's something crazy, I'll watch it later. You got a conference table? Okay, very nice. Good taste. Read that conference table. How tall are you when you rock the Alex Caceres afro? I'd be 6'7" with the Alex Caceres afro. She holds it up in front of you while you eat? No. It has a case that you can prop it up. She has a case that you can prop it up. So it just props up, and I just sit it off to the side, and I half pay attention to it. I half eat. And then boom. Next thing you know, I'm done. I go back in the living room, watch some prelims, get on with my life. My video is finally processed. It took like 30 minutes. What round does Whaley versus Lemos end in? I'll say first 3 rounds. First 3 rounds, somebody gets TKO'd. Dariush will have to move up and try to get Covington or Muhammad money fight. He won't be able to get the title at 155. Ali doesn't think he's a big enough draw. Well, we'll see. If he keeps winning, nobody has a choice then. And I mean, Covington and Muhammad aren't money fights by any means. Did Francis have bad management, or did he really just get screwed over by the UFC? I never really looked into why he left. Nah, he just had different priorities than what the UFC is willing to give out. And so he left. He fought out his contract and left because he didn't like what they were doing to him. You know, nobody has to be a loser in this scenario, but the fans are losers. But UFC will be just fine without Francis. Francis will be just fine without the UFC. The Hamzat situation is a problem for the UFC. It's definitely not ideal. Definitely not ideal. Sucks ass if you ask me. Joe, I'm getting that Dom Reyes edge up tomorrow. I'm excited. I really think it'll make my eyes stand out. I like how now we just meme nonstop. What brand of lawnmower? I bet he got a Husqvarna or Coleman. What? The Hamzat situation is a problem. Okay, read that. You think Prime should sponsor Buckley? No. But maybe. I don't know. UFC shills don't like contract leaves. Also UFC shills. Fumbled the bag. Exactly. Exactly. The same people saying, look, if you didn't like the contract, why'd you sign the contract? Are the same people crying about Francis Ngannou leaving. And it's infuriating to me. Joe, I might be able to rock the Dom Reyes haircut. I wouldn't even need to line it up. Dude's got the Dom Reyes. It's almost like a mohawk. Let's look up a funny pic of Dom Reyes. Dude, the Dom Reyes. Yeah, I'm rocking the Dom Reyes, basically. I'm rocking the Dom Reyes. Dude, I feel bad. Dom Reyes. Oh, man. Dude was too caught up when he thought he won against Jon Jones, and boom, his career fell off a proverbial cliff. Dude got chinned by Ryan Spann. Isn't that crazy? Dom Reyes is essentially a dead body at this point, and Jon Jones is the UFC heavyweight champion of the world. Think about what a left-hand turn from UFC 247 that was. That's crazy. The Jon Jones curse is real. Win, lose, or draw, your career falls off a cliff after fighting Johnny Bones Jones. It is what it is. You don't think Reyes beat Jones? He did outbox him for 3 straight rounds. I can't remember which rounds were which, but I recently rewatched it. When I watched it live, I thought it could go either way. I said this fight can go either way. I think it was the 3rd round that was 50-50. I think the first 2 rounds went to Reyes, and then 4 and 5 clearly went to Jones. So, no, I didn't think it was a brutal robbery. I thought it could have went either way. When I watched it in real time and when I rewatched it recently, just to recap it, I rewatched it in the lead up to UFC 285. I said, you know what? I said, that wasn't as bad as a robbery as people act like it is. People act like it was such a brutal robbery. There was one of those first 3 rounds that was razor close. I think it was round 3, but I can't remember. Anytime someone in the chat says we should give them a Tito award for excellence, fair enough. For some reason, people are so focused on that Dom Reyes fight. I still thought John won. Chances are John was partying more than training for that fight. Yeah, I mean, it was a close fight for sure. But that's the thing. You can't elevate a guy off a loss. You can't elevate a guy off a loss. You can't elevate a guy off one performance. And that's what people perpetually do. They did it with Colby Covington. They did it with Alexander Gustafsson. They did it with Dom Reyes. And there's probably other examples I can't think of. You elevate a guy off a loss. You elevate a guy off of one performance. And we don't really know how they are. People acted like Gustafsson was this world beater. And Gustafsson was actually pretty good. Was this world beater because he had a close fight with Jones. People act like Colby is this world beater because he had a close fight with Kamaru Usman and he got stopped in. People act like Dominic Reyes was his world beater because he had a close fight with Jones. One performance cannot dictate your entire UFC career and your whole entire skill set. Could be the best night of your life while you fought a guy who had the most off night of his life. So, yeah. That's why we need a large sample size to determine guys' skill sets. The less we have, the less of an informed analysis we can give. Gus was phenomenal, but Jones made the necessary adjustments in the rematch and finished him. It sucks we didn't get that rematch sooner. It should have happened sooner. How do you see the fight between Shavkat and Edwards going down? Craziness. I don't know who I would predict it now. I'd probably go Shavkat. I see Edwards just trying to use his footwork, pick his shots, and I just see Shavkat mowing him down and just trying to buzzsaw through him. Maybe he gets clipped and KO'd, but maybe he hurts Leon. And then he follows Leon to the ground, and then he beats up Leon on the ground. This would be a war. Edmund equals Dominic Reyes. That's about right. Durham we saw last night could be champ. Maybe. I don't think so, but maybe. Maybe. I doubt it. Weili Zhang would mow her down. Weili Zhang would beat the dog shit out of her. I'd like to see that Rose fight, though. I'm going to be honest. I'd like to see that Rose fight. Do you think Shavkat could do more to Edwards with his wrestling, considering Usman 0 BJJ? Yes. If he gets him down, I think he can do more with it. Shavkat versus Jack Della, would love it. Divorce Dern was a beast. Dern 2.0. She fought a literal bum. Dern is going to be champ, not with that fight IQ. Yeah, exactly. Hip toss, over and over and over again. Jones brutalized Shogun Rua to win the belt. Yeah, Shogun tapped the strikes. People don't remember that because the ref jumped right in. But Shogun tapped the strikes. He beat the brakes off of Shogun. He stepped in on short notice to fight a savage of a champion, who a lot of people thought was the greatest one of the greatest light heavyweights of all time. Beat him so bad he tapped out. And that's the truth. Go watch the finish if you don't believe me. You'll see him tapping out. Jones just beat the shit out of him. Took that fight on like 5 weeks' notice, I believe. Let me go take a look. They offered him in the cage. Yeah, he took that fight on roughly 5 weeks' notice. A little over 5 weeks' notice. He fought on February 5th. He submitted Ryan Bader. And he fought Mauricio Shogun Rua on short notice on March 19th. What's crazy, and if you're a newer fan, you might not know this about the Jon Jones-Rashad Evans rivalry. Jon Jones and Rashad Evans were training partners. Thank you. And Rashad was #1 contender. Rashad got injured and couldn't fight Shogun Rua, so they offered it to Jon Jones. And that kind of had a riff, and then Rashad eventually left the gym, and then they eventually fought down the line. But that was a compelling lead up to that fight. I was really interested. The fight didn't live up to the hype, but it was a very compelling storyline going into that one. Because it was supposed to be Rashad versus Shogun. Rashad pulls out. Him and Jones were like best friends, training partners, training every day. Jones was an up-and-coming guy. And they said, well, we're going to offer the title shot to Jon Jones. Jon Jones takes the title fight on short notice, starches Shogun, beats the dog shit out of him, becomes champion, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh. And then Rashad said there was like rifts in the gym after that, and it was just like awkward, and they kind of all sided with Jon because now he's the champ, and it was awkward. Yeah, this is all after Rashad was already champion, yes, but still. Greg Jackson saw Jon was better than Rashad and dumped him. Yep. Did Rashad say his coach was favoring Jon? Something like that. Imagine an alternate universe where Evans didn't get injured and beat Rua for the title. That would be very interesting what would happen. I don't know the exact landscape back then because I wasn't like a hardcore. And I didn't fully have full knowledge of everything that was going on at the time. But I wonder if I wonder who was did Jones fully deserve it, or was he just kind of giving it because they didn't have any other options? I wonder. Rashad said he moved down to 185. Yeah, a long time ago. Dude, Rashad, what's his last win? Was it when he beat the shit out of Chael Sonnen? Dude, I'll never forget Rashad just beating the dog shit out of Chael. Well, technically he won at Eagle FC, but before that, yeah, it was a TKO. He looked good at UFC 167. He dominated Chael and finished him early. At one point, Rashad was supposed to fight DC as well. He was supposed to fight DC as well. I never really seen Rashad perform amazingly. You know, I saw him fight Quentin, beat Quentin Jackson. Not a great performance. I saw him beat Tito Ortiz. Not the greatest performance. Beat Phil Davis. Ugly fight. Lost to Jones. Lost to Rogerio Nogueira. Beat Dan Henderson, but it was ugly. Ugly as hell. The Chael Sonnen is the only real good performance I saw out of Rashad Evans since I've been a fan. Which is crazy. Who's the worst managed fighter of all time? Edmund Shabazian, probably. Nice to find your channel. James Lynch suggested you on one of his videos. What do you think of it so far? You've been watching for a couple weeks now. I'm pretty sure I've seen your name. What do you think of James Lynch's recommendation? Did he steer you the right way or what? Or no? Rashad Evans, the man who broke Chuck Liddell and apparently takes shrooms before sparring. Dude, he brutally KO'd Chuck. He did Chuck dirty. I wasn't a fan then, though. UFC 88. 2008. I knew about the sport. Didn't watch it. Isn't it weird Rashad Evans was the main event of the first ever fight that I watched? It was good. You're one of my favorite MMA YouTubers now. Hey, I'll take it. I'll take it. Great move from Evans' manager, giving him the worst possible matchups from outside the rankings. I know. I talk about it in my video, my upcoming video that I'm going to release at the end of this stream. Guys, if you could do me a favor and like the stream, I would greatly appreciate it. If you could like the stream. Also, double check and make sure you're subscribed. When we get to 10,000, which should be in the next 2 weeks-ish, when we get to 10,000, I'm going to do like a 3 to 4 hour stream. I'm going to do like a 3 to 4 hour stream. So, go double check and make sure you're subscribed. Also, if you really love the channel, start sharing the videos. If you find a video you really enjoy, share it to your friends, tweet it out, post it somewhere. I don't care where you post it. I would greatly appreciate it. It helps support the channel. Also, make sure you Boston Crab the like button. I'm going to stop. Let me stop right now. That's corny. What are we going to do with no UFC this week? I got plenty of video ideas that I have to do. I'm happy there's no UFC this week. Don't crucify me. Don't kill the messenger. I'm happy there's no UFC this week. There, I said it. I'm going to try to pump out all the videos I want to do. Alex Pereira video, Francis Ngannou, Dana White video. I had some other ones, but I can't remember what they were. I kind of want to do a Hamzat video. I kind of want to do a Sean O'Malley Aljo video, but I don't really know the full premise yet, what I want to do with that. But basically how they're forcing Aljo into taking essentially an extremely quick turnaround because they're hoping Sean O'Malley can take advantage of that. And I'm sure there's a million other ones that I can't think of right off the top of my head right now. Oh, and then I also got to do love and hate for UFC 289. I got to grade UFC 289. So I got plenty of work to do, and I'm hoping to have one. I'm going to pick out one day, and I'm just going to chill and relax and do nothing. Because I've been trying to build up this channel for so long. It's like every single day. I'm just like, got to work on the channel. Got to work on the channel. Got to work on the channel. So maybe one day this week I might just do absolutely nothing. I might. But probably not. Because I'm just a maniac. I'm like, because as soon as I hit that 10K mark, I'm like, oh shit, I got to get 50K now. 50K is really the next goal. I want to get 20K, but 50K is the one I really have my sights on. I'm going to go from 10 to 50. That's my next big goal. So, when we get to 10K, I'll be sure to give you my free picks to this weekend's UFC card. Okay. What if I got to 10K and was like, look, if you guys want any more of my predictions, join my Patreon. Join my Patreon. Angela Hill, another one who needs to go ahead and take off the gloves. I may or may not discuss that in my upcoming video that I will release very soon. How did you get into the UFC? Do you remember? I knew a UFC fighter by name of Joey Beltran that got me into the UFC 13 years ago. Now, I always kind of wanted to watch. and I'd kind of seen it on TV a couple times and kind of wanted to watch, and then never really did it. I watched some reruns. I honestly think the first fight I watched in its entirety was Chuck Liddell Vanderlei Silva, which was an incredible fight. I got to go back and watch that and see if that lives up to today's day and age. But I always wanted to kind of get into it. I played the first UFC video game, and one day my buddy hit me up and said, "Hey man, you want to go to Buffalo Wild Wings and watch this UFC pay-per-view?" And I always kind of wanted to get into it. I just didn't have anyone to get into it with, and I said, "Yeah, let's go do it." And then it ended up being too busy, so we ended up splitting the cost of the pay-per-view. And then we started ordering some pay-per-views together. And then once I saw Anderson Silva triangle choke Chael Sonnen after losing the majority of the fight, I was hooked. That's the story. Who would have the best Boston Crab submission in the UFC? I'll say Khamzat Chimaev. Aljo said he wanted to fight in July. Suga said see you in August. Isn't it weird that Dana just did the announcement for the fight even though Aljo hasn't signed the contract? Yes. That's what he does. I said that. That's what I said in my actual reaction video. Angela Hill is the women's Michael Johnson? Maybe. And could you Boston Crab MMA Guru? Look, I can Boston Crab any man alive. Dana hates Aljo because he wants Sugar Sean to win the title to be a big draw for the UFC. Yes, 100%. 150%. People saying MJ getting flatlined is KO of the year. I don't know, bro. Ige versus Jackson was better than that. Yeah, I wouldn't say KO over the year by any means. By any means. That was very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. I would have been 12 for 12 yesterday on picks. I would have sweeped the card. Did you drop the Dana post-fight video yet? No, I did not. It'll be out tomorrow. I'm going to drop the video about which fighters to cut after the performance last night. That'll be dropped at the end of this stream, which I'm probably not going to do much longer. We'll see. And then I'm going to record the Francis Ngannou video. But by the time I've recorded that, I'm just going to wait till tomorrow. I'll upload it. I'll get edited, upload it tonight, go to sleep, and I'll release it tomorrow around like noon or something, whenever I think people will be on YouTube watching videos. It's a lot. It's a lot. I worked on that video itself for about an hour and a half today, maybe. I already have all the clips ready to go. I have all the images I want in the editing software. I literally have it up right now. I have 9 clips of Dana White. I have pictures of Dana White, sitting at the press stand. I got pictures of the BMF belt because I'm going to bring that up. I got pictures of Francis Ngannou signing his massive PFL deal. I got also a picture that I might try to sneak into the video in there. I got a picture of a screenshot of Francis Ngannou's contract. And, so that video I'm going to record after this. I hope to be done that by 1. Then I'm going to go to sleep, and then I'll release it tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow evening. I haven't decided yet. But that's going to be a banger of a video. And but today I was just dead tired. I was dead tired all day because I really didn't sleep much at all last night. And by the time I was uploading the video and everything, it was like 4:30-ish, 5 a.m. I literally talk about it in the video. At the end of the video, I say, oh, it's 4 a.m. right now. I did the super fight video. It's done amazing. It's almost to 6,000 views, which is great for my channel. And so that's out on the channel. The post-fight's out on the channel. The videos, sometimes I just feel like they're getting longer and longer and longer and longer. I try to keep them shorter, but they're just getting longer and longer and longer and longer. 19 minutes for the Dana White video. 28 minutes for the post-fight. 19 minutes for the BMF video. 18 minutes. It seems like I hover right around that 20-minute mark. But I don't like to shortchange what I have to say. Joe, when's the last time you went to bed when it was lights out outside in the morning? When it was light outside in the morning? Yesterday. Yesterday when I got in bed, it was light outside already. You wish you could last as long as your videos? Okay. Joe, when's the last... Okay, read that. JDM. Jack Della Maddalena versus Sean Brady. I'm probably going Jack Della Maddalena, but I don't know about his grappling. Dana was straight up hating on Francis in the press conference. Yeah, that's exactly why I want to break it down, because there's a lot of reshaping of the narrative, no context on certain things. I got 9 clips. I clipped out everything that he said about Francis Ngannou. And, yeah. What time did you wake up this morning? That's not really the question of what time did I wake up. It's really of what time did I get out of bed. I probably got out of bed at like 10-ish. I don't think I even went to sleep before 6:37. And then, so basically I took like a 3-hour nap maybe. And then I took like an hour nap before I did my cuts video. Do you do your videos in one take? Define one take. Yes and no. Usually what will happen is my videos are usually all one long running continuous shot. I don't script them at all. I just go off the top of my head. I'll have like a general idea of where I want to go. If anything, sometimes in the very first minute of my video, I mess up and then I just restart it. So I'll start talking. I'll fumble over my words for a second. And then I just restart the video. So that can happen to me 0 times. That can happen to me 20 times. It all depends. So, but after that, after I get through that first minute, it's all just continuous. Occasionally in mid-video, I'll stumble over a word and say something wrong and realize it's wrong. And then I'll stop, restart my thought, and I'll cut it out a little bit. But I would say on average, there's like less than a cut in a video. Like most of the time, there's 0 cuts in the video. If there is cuts, it's no more than 2. If there is a cut, it's no more than 2. I've gotten into videos before where I've messed up a couple times. I don't like doing cuts because sometimes they just don't look natural. I know people don't really care that much, but just for my own personal, I've gotten 16 minutes into a video before and just stopped and restarted. I've recorded a video, gone back to do the cuts a couple times where I have like 2 or 3 in there. Because the most I ever have in a video would be like 2 cuts, 3 cuts. Just misspeaking a word and then I just cut it out and restart my thought real quick. But if it gets too more than that, I think it looks weird, I'll just scrap the whole video and re-record it. Are you going to release the video at the end of the stream or make one? Both. I have one video ready to go. Going to be released at the end of this stream. And I also am going to record one as well. We're probably only going to go for like another 10 minutes. It's going to be an under an hour stream. That's really good, especially if you don't have a script. Yeah. The most I do is I'll email myself. Well, I'll type in an email real quick. Like a couple bullet points I really want to touch on, and then I'll kind of order them. But usually once I type them in, I remember them, so I don't even need to look at them, if that makes sense. But like for the Francis Ngannou video, let me see. I'll tell you. I'll kind of give you an idea of what I'll type. Like the Francis Ngannou video I recently did, I typed a large note. So I just type intro because it just looks better that way. I typed intro, quick background, fumbled the bag for 3 months because people, I understand I'm not like speaking in complete sentences here. BKFC, 1 championship, new contract, 2 to 3 fights, pay $9 million roughly, split 50-50 pay-per-view profits, salary of brand ambassador, acquire own sponsors, non-exclusive boxing, no extension championship clause, $2 million guaranteed for opponent, chairman PFL Africa, company advisory board, equity in the company. Then I have react, massive win for Ngannou, people moving the goalpost, PFL going bankrupt, compare to UFC contract and pay-per-view share and Jones fight. What's next for Ngannou? Boxing, tune-up, and MMA in 2024. Mistake boxing top boxer. More money, less competition. That's a massive note I had. So that's the longest note I've ever made for a video because there were so many different things that I want to touch on. But believe it or not, I didn't even really look at that note. So I'll have it up on the screen, but I never really looked at it. Once I type it, it's like already cemented in my mind now. . But that was for the Francis Ngannou 30-minute video I did. Barboza's always involved in great fights. What would you rank him among the most exciting fighters? He's definitely one of the most exciting competitions. Or one of the most exciting fighters. I don't know why I said competitions. I don't know where I would rank him, though. Lesser competition is a negative for legacy, but it doesn't matter. The legacy's already there. He's one of the greatest heavyweights. So, what video are you dropping tonight? The video about who should be cut from the organization after their performance yesterday. That will be out immediately following the stream. So, and it's nice and processed up. Make sure I'm going to post a link I'll let you guys go to it before it's even post it, but make sure you guys comment on it. Boosting the algorithm. I want 6K views on that one too. You made cliff notes? Exactly. But there was so much to talk about. But for the most part, I don't do those notes. That's the longest note I've ever made. The last time I made a note, and this was actually almost as long, and this took me an hour to make actually, was 9 days ago. I compiled the entire welterweight division and what win or loss streak they were on. And I typed that all in the note for the Colby Covington Bilal video. Do you think Royval beats Kopp or Makayev? I think he beats them both. I'm a big believer in Brandon Royval. I think you need to start taking more uppercuts from Francis to get to the sleep. Yeah. You see Loman, Haney? If so, who do you think won? I don't watch boxing. I know people think I'm not a combat sports fan. I don't care about boxing. I don't care about boxing at all. It doesn't intrigue me. And I really am not interested in watching boxing. The news that Conor says he might potentially fight in December and Jones could possibly fight in November. That's what I think it will be. If he does fight this year. Which I'm starting to have my doubts if he even fights this year. It might not be till next year. To be quite honest. And now we got MMA media posting out. Oh, Marvin Vettori chokes out YouTuber. Which is crazy. Why would these guys want to get choked out to begin with? And this is what the MMA media is covering? These guys are clowns. That'd be weird. I wouldn't want to get choked out. I'm still wondering when Leon is fighting. I know. I'm wondering if it might be like a co-main event in November. Which is going to be hilarious. Oh, Colby's a draw. Imagine he ends up co-main event. Co-main event. Will you make a video calling out MMA media for being lame? I basically discuss how they're lame in every video where I ever talk about MMA media in general. But a specific dedicated video, I don't know. Yeah, only MMA Joey's legit, like on a serious note. I don't know what you mean by that, but okay. Francis starts as Sergey and Jones. He is luckier than them, hits harder than them, and keeps winning. I think Francis loses to Jones, but I don't think that had anything to do with his thought. I don't think Francis thinks he loses to Jones, but I think he beats Sergey. So for me, there's really one compelling fight for Francis in the UFC, is Jon Jones. Vettori couldn't even get the sub. MMA farting at it again. It wasn't farting, but it was some other MMA website that I will not mention. Referring to coverage of the sport of MMA. I'm happy you enjoy it, Eugene. I'm happy you enjoy it. Only legit. Will Chandler McGregor happen? I have my doubts, but I'm going to say yes. I'm waiting for him to re-enter that USADA pool. But I think it will be in December or next year. Francis Starches. Usman wanted to fight Hamzat and Dana said he doesn't want to catch weight. Yeah, it's stupid. If it's in a catch weight, I don't want to see it either. I don't know if Usman really actually wants that fight. I'm not trying to delegitimize him. I'm not saying Usman's scared of anyone. He's not. But catch weight is just dumb. Fight at 185 or fight at 170. Francis won it. Okay, doesn't matter. I'm sorry, but I can't stand Leon. Fair enough. Thoughts on MMA hosts? I have no thoughts on them. I don't watch them. I'm not 10 years old, so. Thoughts on Clay Guida and his boys? I'm not a big fan of Clay Guida and his boys at all. I wouldn't kick it with Clay Guida and his boys. I wouldn't hang out with Clay Guida and his boys. And, yeah, I'm not a big fan of Clay Guida's fake retirement so he could get some airtime. What'd you think of Aljo calling for July 8th? I think that was him kind of trolling. Because he's saying, look, you know, they're trying to put me in a bad spot. And they're trying to put me in a bad spot by making me take it on short notice. Let's make O'Malley take it on short notice. So, Angela Hill's the female version of Clay Guida. I really wish Kamaru would have kept with his intentions on moving up to 205. Nah, dude, Usman will get starts at 205. Usman will get starts at 205. Yeah, I saw that. He's fighting Jim Miller. Dude, his chin. He just got brutally KO'd, even if it doesn't count. He got brutally KO'd. So, not a big fan at all. Don't like it at all. Rob talked on the Schmel interview and said he thought Henry called him out. He won't be able to fight him in August since his hand won't recover in time. He said he will fight later in the fall. Hopefully that's the fight the UFC makes. Into watching grappling matches, not much. Leon was trying to cherry pick fights. How are you going to claim Colby doesn't deserve a title fight? Because he doesn't. Yeah, he made himself look stupid saying he wanted to fight Jorge, though. I agree on that one. But he doesn't want to fight Colby, not because he's scared of him, but because Colby was ducking Leon for a while. He tried to fight Colby for a while. And Colby didn't want it. Colby turned it down. Said Leon's nobody. Now all of a sudden Colby wants to fight him. So it's not out of being scared or fear of losing. It's just the fact that, you know, it is what it is. Did they ever do the renovation on the Apex? That is a good question. I didn't notice. Did you notice any differences? They applied for permits. Let me go take a look. Was this the first Apex fight in a while? I didn't see any differences. Maybe they got more crowd. It doesn't look much different, to be honest. I'm looking at it right now. It looks like maybe they have some more seats, but it doesn't look dramatically different. So maybe not. Maybe they pushed it off. Leon should just fight Bilal and make Colby fight again. I hope that's what he does. That's what I'm saying. I didn't notice anything. It looks the same to me. Yeah. They applied for permits to make renovations. So maybe also sometimes the way construction works, they could be working on other things. They could be working on concessions. They could have partial parts of the Apex shut down and maybe still use the cage and stuff like that. I don't know. So they could be working on it behind the scenes and we don't know. But I find that hard to believe considering we got a bunch of, I almost said Tapology because I'm pulling up Tapologies. But you look at upcoming events, I think the next one's at the Apex, right? Yeah, UFC Apex. Oh my God, Tapology, you suck ass, bro. I think Vittori Cannonier is at the Apex, right? Yeah, Apex. Strickland Magomedov is at the Apex, right? Yeah, UFC Apex, UFC Apex, UFC Apex. So, I don't know when. Let's see. At July 1st is the next one I see. Not the next one I see, but the last one I'm seeing. I'm looking. Okay, then this is probably at the Apex too. Home versus Myra Bueno Silva. Ew, that's at the Apex. So, July 15th. Then no Apex, no Apex. I don't think this is at the Apex. No, that venue hasn't been determined yet. So, yeah. I don't know. Dana was saying for years, we got to get out of the Apex. We got to go to these places, and we got to do this, and we want live crowds. But now he's like, oh, no. Nah, we're just staying at the Apex. They might renovate it in late December when they take a month off, maybe. I mean, it could have got delayed, but they definitely applied for permits. That was from a legitimate source. That was from the Sports Las Vegas Business Journal, I think it was. Leon should just fight Bilal. I hope that's what happens. And we'll see a bunch of fans cry about it. Say Colby's a draw. Interim champ plus flying to London to be back up unlimited title shots. Exactly. It definitely seemed like there were more people at the Apex. Yeah, when I just looked, it looked like there was more, but maybe it was a minor renovation where they just brought in some more seats. We just have to live with the fact that Apex is never leaving. That's been my thought as well. Apex makes UFC lazy since they don't have to sell tickets. Exactly. No overhead cost. Kai Kara France versus Albazi's next Apex. Yep. Imagine we get Bilal versus Colby for the interim belt. That's better than Colby getting a title shot at least. And Leon sought out a year waiting for a title shot. Okay. Jorge did the same thing that Leon thought before he won the belt. Colby don't deserve a shot, don't get me wrong. But to be honest, Leon did deserve a title shot. That's completely ridiculous. He did not dodge Bilal. He accepted fights with Hamzat, fights with Jorge. And, yeah, so Leon did deserve a title shot. That's bullshit. I'm getting married at the Apex. Nobody allowed. Nobody wants to come. Imagine Corey versus Marlon performance was at the Apex instead of Kansas City. That would have been ass. New to MMA and UFC. Why can't the UFC book Hamzat, Usman versus Hamzat at welterweight? Is there anything the UFC can do to try to make sure Hamzat makes weight? I mean, they can try to help him with like a nutritionist or something, but that's the only place it should be made is at welterweight. So they can do it at welterweight. Look at these next cards. It looks like Leon will fight in Abu Dhabi. That's what I'm saying. I've been saying it. And guess who's more of a draw to the live audience in Abu Dhabi? Bilal Muhammad. Colby wins title against Leon, then defends against Bilal. Now he'll call out Nick Diaz. Leon didn't sit out for an entire year. He was asking for fights the entire time. Exactly. And he literally was signing the fight too. Nobody wants to come. I'm done. You think Colby actually did accept the fight, Hamzat, and said yes to whoever? No. I don't think Colby accepted it. No way. I think Dana's not going to delegitimize the dude he's given a title shot to because he's obviously playing favorites. And so he's not going to delegitimize the guys he's given a title shot to. He's not going to say, oh, Colby turned down fights. He's not going to. If Colby wins, who's number one contender? He'll probably try to fight... He'll probably try to fight Nick Diaz, would be my guess. Would be my guess. If Colby wins, who is number one, it should be Bilal. Should 100% be Bilal. But we'll see. It pays to be a company man. Oh, does it? Because you're comparing Colby and Francis. Colby got no pay-per-view points on his last pay-per-view. He's really a company man. It pays to be a company man. Dude got paid with no pay-per-view points. If Colby wins, he's going to call out Connor for sure. Joey, the channel's at 9.5 subs. 10K is so close. I know. We are officially at 9,510 subscribers. So, we're 490 subscribers away. 490 subscribers away. Look. It is what it is. We're trucking along. Rome wasn't built in a day. 10K might take another month. It might take a week. It might take a couple days. Because I got a couple banger videos coming out over the next couple days. And I think I would say 50, 60% chance we hit it before the end of May. If not, we'll hit it first week of June. I would say 95% chance in the next 2 weeks we'll hit it. Dana, we're not in the business of making gimmick fights, then proceeds to make a BMF belt. I can't wait to talk about that in the video I'm about to make. I can't wait. Yeah, we don't make gimmick fights. We brought CM Punk in. We brought, who remembers Randy Couture versus James Toney. And we made a BMF belt out of thin air. WWE belt. We're not into gimmick fights. We're not into letting fighters sit out and they only fight once a year. Colby Covington's getting a title shot, though. Jon Jones fought once in the last 3 years. He fought for the title. But we're not into that. 10K deserves so much. Vids have been super informative. I'm glad I can inform you. We got through 5, 6, 7, 8K lickety split. That is true. Let me go take a look at the evolvement. When did we have... Damn. Beginning of March, we were still in 7,000 subs. Beginning of March. We were still around 7,000 subs. We were at we were a little over halfway through 7,000. We were at like 7,500 subs, roughly. Let's see what I like to look at is where were we last year. YouTube has a thing where you can go look and see where you were last year. All right, let's go back to May 22nd. May 22nd last year, I was at 3,335 subscribers. That's pretty wild. Might as well do a hardcore belt and just have people fighting in bars randomly. Exactly. Hardcore belt, steel chairs, shillelaghs, putting them through tables. Leon made those call-outs before he fought old Nate Diaz, who almost slept him, by the way, and there were still contenders waiting in the wings because he was looking for a fight. How would Volk versus Brendan Loughnane go? Brendan Loughnane would lose. Volk is better. But Brendan Loughnane's a good fighter. Don't let that answer fool you. Don't let that old answer fool you. But yeah, UFC could have signed him. He was on a Contender Series. Do you think Michael Johnson should retire? Probably. Probably should. But imagine talking about the BMF belt and then saying, "Yeah, we don't do gimmick belts around here." Jack, don't be thinking about that type of stuff in church, you nasty son of a gun. Jack's going to grow up and stop watching the channel one day. He's going to say, "I fucking hate this channel. I'm disappearing from here. I'm going to disappear from here. I got to sit straight up. I got to record this next video here in a minute." Leon then waited all the way till August of 2022 to fight Usman, claiming he deserved a shot after a 5-round decision over Nate Diaz. No, that's not the way it worked at all. It's crazy how people are saying Ngannou's scared of Jones when Ngannou has been calling him out for years and Jones was nowhere to be found. Going to talk about that in the video as well. Joe, will you have a channel when you're 50 years old? I have no idea. I hope so. Isn't that crazy? Imagine me as a 50-year-old MMA YouTuber. Is that even right? I guess I should probably close it down at like... I'm going to close the channel when I turn 40. Leon was on the longest win streak. He tried to fight. He accepted multiple fights. Tried to fight Colby. Colby turned him down. Hamzat turned him down. Or Hamzat pulled out 3 times. And Leon got the deserved title shot. He got the deserved title shot. But yeah. You have doubled your sub count since last year. Exactly. More than doubled it. Tripled it. Right? Right? 3 times? Roughly. A little under. But yeah. So what I'm going to do, guys, I am going to do this. You guys are going to get the first look at the newest video. The first look at the newest video. Let me put this here. I'm going to post, like this stream before you go. I might leave it up for a little while for people to watch. It's 12 a.m. How do we even have 90 people in here? That's the crazy thing. That's the crazy. Look, we got 81 people in here right now. It just dropped because it sounded like I was going to get off. Look, if we get 70 likes, I'll stay for like another 15. If we get 70 likes, come on. We have enough people in here to do it. I'll stay for another 15. So let's see if you guys can do it. Let's see if you guys can just like it up. Probably half the people fell asleep. Now we're back almost up to 90. We're at 40 likes now. I think Izzy versus Hill makes sense if Whitaker versus Dricus is on. Exactly. We're almost at 50 likes. Come on, 70 likes if you want the stream to continue. John was negotiating a fight, then magically needed to balk, only to finally finish when Francis gets cut. Exactly. I got you, Lid. What do you mean? I got you, kid. Thank you. 15 more minutes of pleasures. It's still not there. We're still 20 likes short. And we have more than enough people. If everyone in the chat likes it, easily done. And you guys got like 2 minutes to achieve it. 20 likes in 2 minutes. We'll see if you guys can pull it off. If not, you'll be getting unveiling a new video. Stipe or Pavlovich, who can beat Jones? I don't think either one of those guys beats Jones. I don't think either one of those guys would beat would beat Jones. Pavlovich, maybe, but doubtful. Maybe, but doubtful. Whitaker versus Dricus. I feel like everyone is lurking right now. Yeah. Look, we got 51 likes, guys. I said 70. Do I like pasta? It's all right. Not a big fan. But I like it's here and there. I eat it. Joey, if O'Malley beats Aljo, will the UFC do a super fight with Moreno? Makes sense. No. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. There's no way that happens. All right, so it looks like you guys couldn't achieve it, even though we got damn near 90 people in it. We got almost double the amount of people that like the stream. I gave you guys your opportunity, and you guys couldn't do it. I'll give you a couple more minutes, all right? But then I got to go record this other video, and I got to go to sleep. I'm actually tired today. We fumbled the likes. Look, fumbled the likes. And I got a video to record, and I got a video to release. I hate when people try to make super fights for every division. Agreed. It's annoying as hell. I don't want to see Brandon Moreno versus Sean O'Malley. And a super fight has gotten watered down. It's not even a super fight anymore. A super fight is truly two dominant champions who have both cleaned out their divisions, won multiple fights, defended their title multiple times, and then they fight each other. So we've never really had a true super fight. I'm trying to think. But if you just want to say champion versus champion, we've gotten it. But yeah, I don't need to see every champion fight every champion. That's Conor McGregor ruined the UFC with that. Conor McGregor ruined the UFC with the boxing shit and the super fight shit. Yeah, so I wouldn't even consider, based on the old definition, Islam versus Volk was not a super fight. But the new definition, the loose definition now is just champion versus champion. It doesn't matter how many title defenses they have. So, you know, if you want to go off that definition, it is a super fight. But the old definition, it wasn't. DC versus Stipe was kind of a true super fight. You're probably right on that. I don't remember. Daniel Cormier goes up and fights for the heavyweight title. Let's see. Nope. Hadn't defended the belt not once. No sirree, Bob. Technically he did because he was given the belt back after Jones tested positive. So technically the Volkan Ozdemir fight was a title defense. By the way, guys, somebody asked me of like underrated fights that nobody talks about. You want to know one of the best fights that nobody ever talks about? Daniel Cormier versus Alexander Gustafsson. If you have not seen this, go watch it. Who hasn't seen Daniel Cormier versus Alexander Gustafsson? That was an incredible fight. Only this is DC, lost to Jones, but it was a no contest, yeah. So technically he got his belt back. So technically he defended it at least once. Technically TJ Cejudo was a super fight then. Cejudo didn't defend his belt at all. Yeah, he beat Demetrius and then immediately defended against TJ. So it is what it is. I mean, a super fight now is champion versus champion. I call them super fights too when it's champion versus champion. It used to be a super fight was a champion who had defended their belt multiple times, cleared out their division, and then another champion who did the same, defended a couple times, kind of cleared out their division. GSP Anderson Silva was a super fight. Silva versus Jon Jones was a super fight. They never happened. But now everybody calls everything a super fight. So it kind of watered it down. That's all I'm saying. My favorite fight is Dan Hooker versus Dustin Poirier. I love the line. Says, I'm having a blast. I did not remember that. So Nunes versus Cyborg then? I guess so. I'm not going to look up another one, but I guess so. But yeah, now if Conor McGregor fights anyone, it's a super fight. People call it a super fight. It's annoying as hell. So, yeah, Gus gave 2 of the best heavyweights of all time hard fights. Dude, that Daniel Cormier fight, UFC 192. Isn't it weird I remember that off the top of my head? Daniel Cormier versus Alexander Gustafsson. I want to look at some pictures from there. It was a split decision. That was an absolute war. If you haven't seen that fight, you need to go see that fight. I forgot that it was split decision. I remember thinking it could go either way, but I wasn't sure. DC looks so different at light heavyweight. He looks in so much better shape at light heavyweight. I remember when DC beat the dog shit out of Roy Nelson. DC looks so much better at light heavyweight. We don't count women's MMA fights around here, bub. Lauren Murphy versus Juliana Pena is the definition of a super fight. Yeah. Yup. Who are your top 5 UFC middleweights of all time? I don't have a top 5, but it's Anderson Silva, then Israel Adesanya. And Adesanya is almost getting up there with Anderson. One more win, he's probably up there with Anderson, to be honest. If that fight's underrated, what do you think is overrated fight? I don't know. When Ngannou fights in his first fight in the PFL, the UFC is going to put on Ngannou versus Stipe 1 free on YouTube. Would not surprise me. Would not surprise. I'll say that in my video. I'll break that out in my video. All right, listen. I gave you guys an extra like 10 minutes anyway. Here's what's going to happen. Go watch this video in the chat. Comment on it. Like it. I would greatly appreciate it. Go watch the video in the chat. Would greatly appreciate it. Good night and goodbye. Go support my new video. I'm releasing it. It's the first video. You guys are getting to see it first is what I mean. Good night.